Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sky Pillar Circuit, week number 5. Alright, so this is the week right before we have a break week where, I'm going to be out of town. So, yeah, we're just going to have this last week, and then we're going to have a break, and then we're going to have 2 more weeks. And that's how this will run, and then after that, we will probably have a redrafting. So, yeah, we'll see how that is all looking. But here we are at the ban phase of Game 1 of week number 5. So the first ban is Trevenant. Interesting ban. I guess they are trying to prevent someone from playing the tree. We have a ban on Dodrio to hit security. And then on the opposing side, we have Comfey and Leafeon. Leafeon being a very strong Pokemon. And, the opposing team, will not have access to it now. So that's all fun and dandy. So we're now in the picks phase, and VoxTech is going to be switching to that first spot, taking Tyranitar, which is something that I, have mentioned, that would probably be happening. So we have Antkiller probably going to be picking Mamoswine, as Antkiller basically only exclusively plays Mamoswine. And Jelly Roll will be on the Slowbro. And by Jelly Roll, we mean not actually Jelly Roll. That is Cairo, using Jelly Roll as the username. And now we have Sceptile going with Clefable. Clefable is, is there. And, Ace, Excel, new player for Team Tyrannical EVs. They are keeping that name. Even though they changed it in the Discord, because they changed it without my permission. And I didn't even confirm it, so they are still called Tyrannical EVs. So, new player, they've got a Blaziken on the squad now, so I assume that these last 2 picks are going to be double defenders for Team Tyrannical EVs. Meanwhile, Henny Guy and Blade are going to lock in Espeon and Scizor. Blade being a trade over to the other team now. They have switched sides. And Native is going to be on Blastoise, Red Fox, locking in Glaceon, and Security finally will be picking Sylveon here. That's pretty interesting stuff. I can't say that, I can't say this is the most expected team on either side. I gotta say, I'm surprised to only see 1 defender on Team Tyrannical EVs. But hey, you know what? It's fine, honestly. And no support on Team Mysterious Muse. They have not brought a support, so I wonder if the longevity of the team will be under fire. I do know that Tyranitar is very strong, and hey, you know what? Maybe, just as a fact, maybe you don't need a support against Tyranitar, because Tyranitar does true damage, which is damage that ignores your shields, and also, I think, part of your defense. I'm not entirely sure how the mechanic works, but I do know that Tyranitar is a massive threat, and the fact that it was left to be picked is very, very scary stuff for Team Mysterious Muse. But here we are, we're going to go ahead and get started. And yeah, we're getting ready for Game 1 to start, as we are waiting for everyone to get loaded in. So yeah, we'll just see what happens, yeah? And here we go. We have got game number 1 getting started right now. Alright, so, clearly Vox is going to be going into the jungle with the Tyranitar. You gotta get that early, ahead in levels farm for the Larvitar. This is all, very standard stuff that we see at the start here. Very well-timed tackle to hit the Escavalier as it spawns. And, yeah, this is, it's looking pretty solid. However, we already have, some conflict as Henny Guy is going in, trying to get stacks with this Scizor, getting set up. And we might be on Scyther timing, I'm not entirely sure, but we are going to get off 2 stacks, as Ace is going to actually be completely hecking dunked, as we already have a rotation from security, and that is a, you know, a double kill in the top lane. Things are already going well for Team Mysterious Muse, despite the fact that things are a little bit of a scramble. They did get the new players in, and yeah, these are a lot of stacks going up top. Here comes the Pupitar, though, and we've got to be cautious. We don't want to give this Pupitar anything for free. Letting that Pupitar, you know, get a KO or something like that is huge experience, and, you know, when that thing is gonna turn into a Tyranitar that will dominate the entire game, you gotta be cautious of that. But it looks like we're gonna be able to freeze it, and we're gonna get a Hyper Voice KO on the Clefairy there, as well as a KO on the Torchic from the Mamoswine. Pupitar successfully backed away and got out of there just in time. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, we have Cairo fighting off Redlock Fox and also Native at the same time. The Blade is here to unleash the powerful attacks into that, you know, that Wild Indeedee. And Native's got to get out of there. He's in a lot of danger. You know, these Pokemon, well, namely the Espeon, does quite a bit of damage. That output is very high, especially when you're on stored power. You got to be cautious of that. And also the Sylveon, by the way, harassing this Pupitar the entirety of the time. And Pupitar, you know, has been essentially prevented from going to the center. But here comes Redlock Fox trying to get the center, and that is going to be big Icicle Spears, but Security is going to be able to survive that pretty well, get off some Hyper Voice chip into the Glaceon, but the Glaceon is going to come back and pick up the KO with the next Icicle Spear. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Antkiller is going absolutely crazy. He is level 7, and he's just going to try and score, and he successfully pulls that off. Now we are going to successfully scoop this Clefable away and run away with it, and we are going to just back off. Pupitar's there. We want to be cautious of the Pupitar. Remember that. But Antkiller said, nah, I'd win, and Henny has to kind of just make up for the difference of that overextension. And tragically, we give this Pupitar a lot of experience that it really should not have gotten, but it's okay, because... oh, just barely the Pupitar picks up the KO on the Scizor, and then the Altaria finishes off the Pupitar with a major attack. But it's okay, this is going to result in a lot of stacks coming out from this Combuskin. Meanwhile, down bot, we have a goal break, as we have another security rotation down to the bot lane, as Blade and Jelly and Security are all here fighting the Registeel, and yeah, I mean... you know, you can't really get in there to contest that. They're just, you know, they're just snowballing on. And as you can see by the levels is, like, you know, the score difference and the level difference is just, it's starting to become very, very hard to deal with. Clefable tries to go in there with a Gravity, gets scooped away by the Mamoswine. Mamoswine's going to dash out of there, and Blaziken's going to try and unleash a powerful Overheat. And you know what? Somehow the Scizor faints there. I mean... you know, that was definitely a combination of Icicle Spears and all of those other attacks. We have a big Unite coming out from the Espeon, picking up that big damage on the Blaziken, and also a feint. Meanwhile, however, Tyranitar is here and causing a lot of problems, as you can see. You know, Tyranitar, very strong, very powerful Pokemon. Hennigai gonna try and fight off, you know, these Pokemon here. Gotta get out of there. Hennigai does successfully escape, but Tyranitar is going to jump in on this Sylveon, and Sylveon's not going to be able to get out of there in time. However, we are still contesting up top. We are still contesting. Tyranitar overextends, ends up fainting, and now we've got a KO on the Slowbro as well, I believe, and now we just got to finish off these KOs up here. Ace Tech, while we were watching all of those team fights, has decided, hey, you know what, that's a free Regieleki, took it, sent it to the goal, but now, as a result, we are going to be breaking this top goal. Team Mysterious Muse, kind of very ahead here, but that Tyranitar can cause quite a few issues. I mean, I don't know how good Vox is on the Tyranitar, but I do think that Tyranitar is very much a Pokemon that can 1v5 if it's ahead. So, we'll just see how this ends up going. Tyranitar in the jungle, getting those jungle buffs. Meanwhile, the entirety of Mysterious Muse all farming. You know, we have the Sylveon in the jungle trying to pick up this KO on the Escavalier, and we are getting ready for this bottom objective. Both teams are here. All 5 rotating bot, trying to get this Reggie going. Everyone is here. Call it Smash Bros. Ultimate. And Antkiller is engaging with a powerful scoop maneuver. Scizor picks up a KO on the Blastoise very early. Tyranitar is going to pick up a KO on the Scizor. Antkiller going to try his best to scoop away this Tyranitar, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work. But with Hyper Voice, you know, Tyranitar may have picked up 3 KOs there, but, you know, it's not over. if you look closely, Blade's able to fight off the rest of the other two. There's no life left among those two Pokemon, and that's just, you know, chip damage for Espeon at that point. So they rightfully decide to go back, get some free healing. The Tyranitar has decided to go up top. Very interesting. But it looks like Team Mysterious Muse is not interested in the concepts of not, you know, getting this bottom objective, as they were able to get in there and fight it, while, you know, Team Tyrannical Eevees was trying to get those pokes off and get in there. And now, as a result, for trying to get in there, they're just kind of just, you know, they're feeding them a lot more experience as the team goes in and they all faint. But now this top objective is spawned. What's Tyranitar's plan? Tyranitar's plan is to go straight for it. And honestly, that is fair. I mean, you know, Tyranitar is very strong Pokemon, right? But Big Snipe coming out with the sword power from the Espeon. Now Tyranitar's got to deal with this Alecki all by itself, it looks like. And that's not what you want to see. So, up top, it looks like we have a convergence coming in. We're trying to fight this Tyranitar as a team, and they do successfully do so, because Tyranitar was up there all by himself, and now the rest of the team is just sort of trying to fight off this Alecki, and the levels is kind of getting a little bit out of hand difference-wise. And now what? I mean, we've got an Alecki coming down. It's very low health. This Blaziken could potentially stop it, but Blaziken uses the Flash while overheating and ends up missing everything. Very unfortunate, but it's okay. Vox is here as the Tyranitar, doing big, powerful slam maneuvers, and we're trying to get off what we can here, but the rest of the Pokemon are going to start fainting. Espeon picks up a 4 KO streak in that, and now Security is hyperly voicing this Glaceon, and now Ace is here to, you know, try and do something about, you know, the current situation. We do pick up a KO on Antkiller, and now we are going to start applying pressure to these other Pokemon that are here. That being said, we only have about 8 seconds before Snowball, our favorite Pokemon, Rayquaza, spawns in the center. And, I mean, it's pretty clear what the purple team has to do here. It's pretty clear what they need to do to win. I mean, they need this Rayquaza more than they need life itself, perhaps. And Native is going to engage. We're going to poke in with the Blastoise. We're going to surf in, and we've overextended, but it's okay. We've got, you know, Blastoise Unite. Here comes Clefable with the Moonlight. Save the Blastoise, you know, keep that health looking pretty healthy. And now here comes Tyranitar. We're doing some big damage. Kairo's got a flash away. Clefable picks up a KO on the Scizor. Okay, we have a Unite coming out from the Mamoswine. Mamoswine's going to end up fainting, and the blue team's successfully fighting them away. They're fighting them away. They're winning the team fight. Kairo's going to get KO'd by the Tyranitar, and this is a free Rayquaza. The entirety of the orange team is fainted, and will they make this comeback? I mean, it looks very much like they will. Scizor respawns, but it's too little too late for Scizor to respawn, as the goals have already been, you know, we already have people going in, trying to score their goals. Blaziken's going to get off 100 there. In the bot lane, we've got 100 coming out from the Blastoise. In the center, we've got 100 coming out. And, well, it looks like only 100 there, but it's okay. The team has the lead, but it's not over. We just have to punish these overextensions, and with the double points, you know, we kind of just got to get in there. We got to just score 100. Well, in a 100-point dunk, and then, like, another dunk of, like, you know, 70 or more will do it. This game is not over, but the blue team has realized this. They are here to play defense. Native all by himself down here, fighting against Cairo, fighting against Security. Okay, Cairo's gonna get off a dunk there. That's huge for them. All right, but now here comes Tyranitar, and also Blastoise shields still intact. They are gonna be able to fight off the rest of the team, and this should do it. Team Tyrannical Eevees should be getting game 1 here, unless I missed some sort of insane dunk. But I don't think I did.